Oh, yes, once again, a day late, but certainly not a dollar short. It's time for the Westside Fantasy Premier update thingy of the week. Let's just launch right into it. And I know what you guys want to hear about. I know what you guys want to hear about. It is that Ndamukong Suh has sworn he will not change his style after the meeting. I have no idea what that means, but it's in the headlines of Yahoo Sports. I think it's his haircut. I think he said, I don't care what the commissioner says. I'm keeping my haircut. All right. Okay. I think the most interesting game of the week probably was the Smell This defeat at the hands of Ghetto Superstar. Boy, there was a lot of chatter. There was, there's lunch involved. There's you got to score me by 150 points. Still have more points than you. Blah blah blah. But the reality is this: the dream is over. Well, part of the dream is over. If the dream involved going undefeated, the dream's over. But the dream is not entirely over because Drew is still 7-1. However, Ghetto Superstar coming in at 6-1 defeated him, and now they're tied sort of atop the division with 7-1 records. But let's break down how it happened. Well, this was the week that the mighty Aaron of Rogers sat himself upon a bench or upon a sofa or wherever he was, and Drew was forced to play the not-so-mighty Andy of Dalton, and he only got 25 points. So you're not so good without those 60 from Rogers, are you, there, Drewy boy? Anyway, he also got a lot of 6s and 7s from such luminaries as Dwayne Bowe, Hakeem Nicks, and Darren Sproles. Oh, and Roy Helu with 2. 17 from Steve Smith. 15 from the San Francisco defense, 101 points. Now that is a soft target, but it's not a guarantee because we've had plenty of guys that did not make it. Ghetto Superstar, on the other hand, got 25 points from Romo, 28 from AD, 19 from Fred Jackson, Freddie Frednator, Fredster Jackson, 12 from Antonio Brown, and a bunch of other stuff. New York defense, blah, 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 131 points. And he beats Drew. So that's why, last weekend was Win Ugly Weekend. This is Beat Drew Weekend. Well, it happened. Beat Drew Weekend has happened, and you can all celebrate. It's equivalent to Gaddafi being captured, I think. It's about on that scale of importance. Well, there you go. Ghetto Superstar defeats Smell This, 7-1 and 7-1. Now, let's look at some of the other games. It was a father versus son matchup, not unlike the Civil War. I don't know. I think it was more brother against brother. But anyway, and the son basically kicked the father's butt in this case because Ben Roethlisberger outdueled Tom Brady. Those are the two quarterbacks they had going. Roethlisberger suddenly decided offense was a good idea and got 46 points. Lance Moore, 13. Jerry Maclin, 11. Jeremy. Arian, I'm not Adrian Foster, 18. 19 from Frank Blood and Gore. And 147 points total. Ferocious Finnick on the rise. 3-5. Bad examples were bad examples of players this week because it was really like a broken game. It was like, when you're a kid and you smash up all the pieces to your Battleship game or no, better yet, what was the game? A Mousetrap. You smash up all those pieces, it's no good. That's basically what the team is like. When you're relying on Victor Cruz and Jackie Battle, who I think I dated in high school, a girl named Jackie Battle, you're looking bad. 1.7 from Brian Leonard. Doesn't even sound like a football player. Sounds like an intern at the library. Jake Ballard sounds like an engineer of some kind. Reggie Wayne sounds like a football player, but still just not very good. And 11 from the Baltimore defense in their not-so-great win over Arizona. It was only 93 points. Jabba, wah. Ferocious Finnick wins, goes to 3-5. Bad examples drops to 4-4. All right. Let's see what's next. Well, there was also Ghetto Superstar. Oh, we did that one already. What am I talking about? There was also Ghetto Superstar and Smell This, which we've already discussed, so we're not going to talk about that again. The Biz coming in at 1-6 and scoring 156 points. He's back, folks. Joe Flacco with a not-so-impressive 31 for the Biz, but 27 from Ray Fried Rice, 15 from Nate George Washington, 30 from the Buffalo defense, 156 points. Over on the other side, Ruff the Passer is going for the RT3-peat, but having a tough go of it so far, coming in at 3-4, leaving at 3-5. Matt's big staff infection Stafford got 46 points doing his part. Percy Sledge Harvin has 11 points, 32 for LaShawn McCoy. That's a lot of points. And then 12 for Morris, 12 points. Alex Henry, not Henry, don't call me Henry, had 10. But the Dallas defense only had 4, and that's not going to do it. Brandon Marshall had 5, and he didn't even get thrown out of the game. Chris, I'm not as good as I used to be. Johnson had 5. It's not very good. Actually, it's not bad. 139 points, but it's just not enough on Beat Drew weekend when DeBiz is coming up with 156 points. And that's how it went. That's how that rolled. Okay, moving right along. We've got Shady Nasty against Jolly Rogers. Apparently, this is a Sunny in Philadelphia, Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference. Coming into the game, Shady Nasty was at a nasty 2-5, and Jolly Rogers were at a somewhat less nasty 3-4. Now, Jolly Rogers has been riding the Vic train all the way to hell this year, and this week was an exception to that. 44 points from Vic, 10 from Sydney, white or fried rice. Demarius Thomas got a point. C.J. Spiller didn't even get a point. Ryan Tureen got 2 points. And Miles Steve Austin got 2.7 points. So despite that, 13 from the Arizona defense, 13 from the kicker. Kicker outscored 5 of the players combined on Tommy's team. But he got 101. Shady Nasty did him the kind favor of only getting 87. 28 from Drew Cool Breeze. 10 from Malcolm Floyd, who was projected, by the way, I've never seen this before, projected to get 0, got 10. Usually kind of maybe goes the other way. 11 from Jason Hanson. Vernon Davis only got 2. Carnell Williams was the one who was projected to get 6 and got 0. Nice job. It all adds up to 87. Tough luck, Phil. Tough luck. Better than the last week, and you had 0.7 points from 3 total running backs. Shady Nasty goes to 2-6. Jolly Rogers claws his way back up to 500 at 4-4. What excitement on Beat Drew weekend. And let's see. Smack Attack 1 facing Zap Boff Kapow. Coming into the weekend, Smack Attack 1 was 1-6. Not too good. Zap Boff Kapow was 3-4 and struggling to get back into the hunt. Colt McCoy, slinging the guns. 29 points, 10 for Larry Fitzgerald, 31 for Steven Jackson. Remember Steven Jackson? Plays football. And not a whole lot more, too, from Josh Scobie, who the week before was kicking field goals from 1,000 yards away. It was pretty good. Over on the other side, Phillip Rivers got 33 points, but lost. The Chargers are so good, and yet they just lose. I'm so tired of it. I feel like we've heard that for like 25 years. The Chargers are the most talented team in the league. I don't understand why they lose, because they're no good. Eric Decker, I don't even know who that is, 13 points. Once again, we have the controversial strategy of playing a player on bye. It didn't work out this week either. 0 points. 0 for Hines Ward, who was injured. 0.9 from the law firm of Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. Don't even want to talk about that. 15 from New Orleans. It adds up to 91. Now the reality is, I think probably Zap Boff Kapow forgot to put some players in there, and who knows, maybe he would have won. Let me just check and see what was on his bench. No, 0 points on the bench. It was all buys. I take it back. Okay, Smack Attack 1, the winner of the game here on Beat Drew Weekend. All right, and last but certainly not least, we had Bretta Is and the Revolution. Coming into the game, Bretta Is was 6-1. Revolution, 4-3. Leaving the game, Revolution's 4-4. Bretta Is 7-1 because Bretta Is won. 46 points from little brother Eli Manning. Calvin, Big Dog, Megatron Johnson with 18 points. 13 from Greg Olson. Greg Mr. Olson for you Little House on the Prairie fans. And 27 from the Cincinnati defense, which is usually the number of points they give up in a half or something like that. 131 points. The Revolution couldn't quite get there. Matt Schaub with 32. 0.8 from Brendan Pettigrew. I think the Broncos just might be terrible. That might be the thing. 32 from Detroit defense. Once again, who knew that you could score all these points with Detroit and Cincinnati defenses? 116 points. The Revolution drops to 4-4. Bretta Is climbs to 7-1. Let's take a look at the standings, shall we? By the way, the reason that we call it Beat Drew Weekend, I think it's only fair to say, is that most of the league, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a whole bunch of people would have beaten Drew. It would have been a loss for him, almost anybody he played. But anyway, enough of that. División del Norte is not a tie. It's actually smell this in first by virtue of the points breakdown. Drew is still scoring a ton of points, almost 150, actually a little more than 150 points a game on average, despite the stinker that we had last week. Ghetto Superstars next at 7-1, not quite as many points. And followed by the Jollier Rogers, Zap Boff Kapow, and then you've got Shady Nasty and Smack Attack 1 that are, I think, mathematically eliminated from winning the division at this point, believe it or not. Doesn't mean they're out of the playoffs, just from winning the division. División del Sur is not quite as competitive because you've got Bretta Is in the lead at 7-1, followed by the Bad Examples with a point advantage over the Revolution, both at 4-4. There are only 4 teams in the 1,000-point club, and that's Smell This, Ghetto Superstar, Bretta Is, and Bad Examples. But in the División del Sur, there are 4 teams within a single game, 3-5, 4-4. And just the one team that's mathematically eliminated from winning the division, and that's Diviz at 2-6. So that's it. That's how it goes. Another week in the books. Beat Drew weekend is come and gone. I'm sure he's hoping that it won't come again, but might. So there you go. That's it. Bye.